She awakened a power long buried in the earth, and the village will never be the same again. What happens when innocence becomes rebellion? When women take control and rewrite the rules? Akuro's girls are no longer afraid, and neither should you be. On the outskirts of Mbalu, where the roads were cracked and the air smelled of secrets, there lived a woman the villagers never spoke to by name. They called her Ma Dara. She ran a small food stand near the edge of the market. Nothing fancy, just a clay stove, a battered pot, and a wooden bench. But her food, it was legendary. Men crossed rivers for her stew. Women swore her dumplings cured womb pain. Children licked the bowls clean and begged for more. But no one ever saw her cook. No one ever saw her buy ingredients. She opened only after sunset, closed before dawn, and whatever she served ran out before the rooster crowed. One day, a young apprentice healer named Limo got curious. He had heard whispers, too many to ignore. They said her food worked like magic, that one bite could make a man love you, that 2 bites could make him forget he ever loved anyone else. Limo had studied herbs, roots, rituals, but what Madara was doing didn't follow any rule he knew. So he waited, hid behind crates long after the market closed, and when the last lantern flickered out, he saw her, bent over her pot, humming, chanting, and reaching under her skirt. Lemo held his breath, frozen behind the crates, barely believing what he saw. Madara's movements were slow, deliberate, like someone performing an ancient rite. Her fingers, thin and steady, pulled strands of coarse, dark hair from between her legs, not in pain, not in haste, but with the calm grace of someone who had done it 100 times before. She dropped the hair into a bowl filled with thick paste, yellow, spiced, fragrant. Then she stirred, not with a spoon, with her hands, circular motions, clockwise only, all while whispering a language Lemo couldn't recognize, one that seemed older than the soil beneath their village. The fire beneath her pot didn't flicker like ordinary flames. It pulsed, it breathed, it moved with the rhythm of her chant, glowing blue at the edges. Lemo felt his skin crawl. He had read about women like her in forbidden scrolls. Hair witches, they were called, practitioners of old body root magic. They believed pubic hair carried raw life force, that it could bind, confuse, seduce, and sicken depending on how it was used. But no one had seen such a woman in a generation. Until now. Until her. As she continued stirring, a gust of wind swept across the market, and Lemo swore he heard voices in it. Hungry voices, begging, pleading, offering silver for a taste. And then she stopped. She looked up, straight at him, smiling. Lemo's heart thundered in his chest. He hadn't moved, hadn't made a sound. Yet somehow, Madara knew he was there. She didn't yell, didn't chase. She simply dipped her fingers into the mixture and brought it to her lips, tasting it like wine. Then she whispered something, 3 syllables, software, like breath over flame. The pot roared to life, and just like that, she vanished, gone. The next morning, Lemo awoke in his own bed, clothes intact, no bruises, no sign he had even left his home. But his tongue felt foreign, his throat burned, and when he looked into the mirror, he saw a faint smudge on his lips, like grease or ash. He ran to the market. Her stall was open, crowded. Dozens of villagers lined up, some laughing, others moaning after their first bite. Madara served each person with the same wooden bowl, and a smile that never reached her eyes. When Lemo stepped forward, she didn't flinch, didn't mention the night before. She just handed him a bowl and said, "Second taste is always deeper." He ran, but the taste stayed with him. All week he craved it, couldn't sleep, couldn't focus. And when he finally gave in and returned, she was waiting. No line, just the bowl, just her. And this time she didn't say a word. If you want to uncover what Lemo truly consumed and what it's doing to him from the inside, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. The real ingredients haven't even been revealed yet. That night, Lemo had dreams he couldn't explain. He wasn't asleep, but he wasn't awake either. He saw himself in Ma Dara's shack, seated on the floor, bowl in hand. She towered above him, not old, not young, something in between. Her hair flowed like smoke. Her skin pulsed with symbols he couldn't read. She whispered in that same dead tongue, each word making his bones feel softer. And he ate, over and over, until the food in his bowl started breathing. He woke up choking, coughing, sweat-soaked. But there was no fever, no sickness, just the smell. That same smell from her pot, spiced, tangy, warm, with something feral beneath it. He couldn't take it anymore. He returned. This time she didn't serve him. She led him inside. The villagers watched, but said nothing. No one interfered. No one warned him. It was as if they knew what was coming and had accepted it. Inside, her hut was smaller than it seemed. Dark, damp, filled with jars. Not of herbs, not of spices, but of hair. Dozens of them, all marked, some black, some gray, some red, some still moving. She pointed to a jar in the center, sealed with wax and bone, and whispered, "This one is yours now." Lemo's knees buckled, because inside, floating gently in thick yellow oil, was a curl of his own hair, not from his head, not from his face, and now it belonged to her. Lemo wanted to scream, but he couldn't. His throat locked, his limbs stiffened. It was as if the moment his eyes met that jar, his body stopped belonging to him. Ma Dara circled him slowly, barefoot, humming that same hypnotic melody she always stirred with. "You ate from me," she said softly. "Now I cook from you." He tried to speak, to ask what she meant, but all that came out was a dry, cracking breath. She dipped her fingers into the jar, touched the strand, and Lemo felt it. Felt her fingers trace across his skin, though she stood feet away. Felt the heat rise in places that should have stayed still. His body was no longer his. Every nerve obeyed her. "You thought this was stew," she whispered, eyes glowing now. "This is binding. This is ownership." Ma Dara opened a second pot, a smaller one, copper, ancient. From within it, steam rose, thick and gold. She dipped her hand inside and pulled out something soft, sizzling, tender. It looked like meat, but not the kind from animals. "Every man who ate from my pot gave me a piece of himself," she said. "Some gave it willingly, others with hunger." And then she grinned. "You gave me both." Lemo finally found his voice. "What do you want from me?" She leaned close, lips brushing his ear. "Nothing more." Then she pressed a bite of it to his lips. He swallowed and smiled. Lemo never returned to the healer's hut. He left his books, his scrolls, his future, everything. He stayed near Ma Dara's stall, silent, glassy-eyed, watching her serve. Some say he helped, others say he guarded her. But those who looked closely noticed something strange. Lemo didn't blink, didn't eat, didn't age. And whenever someone asked what was in the food, he would answer with the same 3 words: a part of you. The village changed. Men began to fear their cravings. Some fled. Others stayed and surrendered, willingly giving her hair, secrets, blood, hoping to be chosen, hoping to taste what made Lemo forget who he was. And the women? They started coming to Madara too. Not for food, for jars. She taught them, quietly, carefully, patiently. And soon, every home had its own small pot, its own scent, its own hum. No one dared question it, because now every woman in Mbalu knew the recipe, and every man feared ending up in someone else's stew. If you found out your favorite meal carried a piece of someone's soul, would you still eat it? Or would you walk away hungry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this tale stirred your stomach, wait until you hear what happened when he touched her once and went blind forever. Watch it next if you dare to taste the truth.